I'm Dan Gookin from the city of Coeur d'Alene, and with Mr. Roetter, I've also been fighting urban renewal. But you gotta understand something. Urban renewal is done differently elsewhere in the state, and it's done bad here. Coeur d'Alene Urban Renewal Agency uses the system. In Twin Falls, they use urban renewal and they love it. This would be a meeting and every one of you would be in support of it because it brought in jobs, thousands of jobs, full-time, career-level jobs, and that's what they do in Twin Falls. So we have a weird dynamic here in that we have part of the state where urban renewal is used properly and people love it and the representatives love it. And then we have it done here where it's abused and you're all here. And a lot of what is being said is true, but it's to various degrees. So does urban renewal affect your taxes? Yes, it does. It increases what you pay. Years ago, I wrote a paper, I called it a white paper, on what LCDC, the Coeur d'Alene Urban Renewal Agency, which reputation was so terrible that they had to rebrand themselves as Ignite. They paid 3 separate PR firms to go through that process to finally realize that, yeah, we need to change our name because everyone hates us. Didn't matter, you still hate them. But the problem is what they do here is abusive. So theoretically, and I'll use Matt's example of Walmart. So you have this urban renewal district, and then you have a revenue allocation area in the district. And say this revenue allocation area is designed to bring in a large employer like Walmart. Therefore, all the taxes that Walmart pays should go to refund the money that was put up front to put in the infrastructure for a Walmart. In Coeur d'Alene, that's kind of how Riverstone happened. So Riverstone was just an old abandoned mill site. And the idea is, well, no one wants to buy it, no one wants to put anything in there because it's going to be really expensive. So the theory of urban renewal is we will front you some money so that you can build the infrastructure, the streets and the sewer and all that stuff, and then you come in and you build this, and what you pay in property taxes will go to refund that because you wouldn't have built it otherwise. That's the theory of urban renewal. And then, as they grow and are successful, if they are successful, that property tax that they generate, that increment, goes to refund, and then once it's done, it closes. So it pays itself off. The problem we have here, and you did that in Post Falls. In Post Falls, the very first urban renewal district in the county did it. It brought in Harper's Furniture. Harper's Furniture paid its own property taxes that went back into refunding that infrastructure, and then it closed. It was done. Here we create these big-ass urban renewal districts, and all the money comes from the increment, from that growth in that. So even if you're not an urban renewal project, you put money into it. And the most abusive nature of the Coeur d'Alene Urban Renewal Agency, and one of the reasons I voted against the Atlas Mill site URD and the hospital corridor URD, is that their plan is deliberately vague. So they have a plan that says, we are going to spend $200 million of your property taxes, but we're not going to tell you what we're going to do with it. Exactly. Why anyone would vote for that is beyond me, but they did. And so, and I have the plan here. This is the health corridor plan that I read again and again and marked up. And in there, it actually says that every year during their budgeting process, they will decide what to spend the money on. And as someone who, I'm on the city council, I was elected, just re-elected, we all 3 of us were. You didn't have any opponents, so you don't count. And anyway, and I want to watch your tax dollars. I never vote for property tax increases because we just have a ton of money. We've got so much money, it's silly. But, so why should I raise your property taxes? Well, urban renewal, it does affect your property taxes. It does increase the property taxes that you pay, even in the county. Years ago, when Phil Hart was in the legislature, he tried to pass a law that said that if any urban renewal agency was formed, that all the taxing districts that were affected had to sign off on it and say, we're okay, the highway district's okay, the county's okay, NIC is okay. it went nowhere because the urban renewal agencies, like the Coeur d'Alene Urban Renewal Agency, they take your property taxes and they buy a high-paid lawyer and a high-paid lobbyist, and they send them down to Boise to fight you. Isn't that wonderful? And so, you know, I could prattle on about this and how it's been abused. It does affect your taxes. And the thing is, when I wrote this paper years ago, I called it LCPC for Dummies. And there was one, I'm going to be honest here, there was one data point that I omitted, which is how much it does raise your property taxes. Okay, the figure did not help my argument because at the time the figure was rather minor. So here we go, and these are some numbers that I ran. In the city of Coeur d'Alene, the median home value is $340,000. Okay, much more than Post Falls and Hayden. No, that's actually the median value for the whole county, so it's all of us. You get a homeowner's exemption of $100,000 capped by our legislature. Thank you very much. I hate that. And 2 minutes. And so your taxable value in the city of Coeur d'Alene is $240,000. Of that, your tax bill last year was $2,700. Of that tax bill, what do you think the percentage is that's affected by urban renewal?
Over 80.
Anyone? Just
60.
Huge? $100. Well, actually, it's $194. So based on what the increment is and that new growth that we're not capturing because the districts are so big, it affects your property taxes in the city of Coeur d'Alene by 7%. Same house in the county, what do you think it affects your property taxes? Makes them go up, but by how much? What's the percentage? Okay, it's 2%. So you pay 2%, and that's it. But the theory is here, and this is the other side of urban renewal. The theory is when these districts close, you get that back. Doesn't happen with a school district levy. With an urban renewal district, when it closes, that money from Walmart, that money from Riverstone, it all comes back. That's $3.4 million we're going to get in 2 years in the city of Coeur d'Alene. My goal as a city councilman is to make sure that you get it, that they don't spend it on something else. Okay, because then it goes down to zero. Then that 7% and that 2% go down to zero. But you have elected officials right now who are looking to spend that money. They are horny to spend that money. And you got to stop them, okay? So that's your job, because I'm doing it. I don't know about Matt. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it. Joe's going to do it. You already have done it, haven't you? Yeah, so please be active and involved citizens. Thank you.